So the other thing to keep in mind is that India is such a vast country that you can't really treat it as a monolith. Okay? Those of you who are doing business in India already might have seen this. Right? India's population is larger than all of Europe. India has more languages than all of Europe. Okay? On the right, I have a photograph of a 500 rupee currency note, and then a blow up here where you can see the word 500 rupees listed in all of those different languages. And some of those languages have scripts that are entirely different from others. So these languages are not as different as English is from Spanish. They're as different as, say, English is from Japanese. Okay, I can't even read the letters in many of those scripts. Okay, so very diverse country. For those of you who are entering India through a distributor, often the question we get is, help us select a distributor. We've received lots of inquiries at trade shows. You know, we were at this Dubai conference or this Hong Kong trade show, and hundreds of people from India approached us. So help us select a distributor from the people who have approached us. Well, all three words there are problematic. Select from that subset is usually not the right thing to do in India, because the smartest distributors don't even have time to go to Dubai or Hong Kong. They're so busy succeeding in the Indian market that you're likely to miss them altogether. The second letter as word, A, implying one distributor. Well, would you have one distributor for all of Europe? Okay. In most cases, no. Well, why would you have one distributor for a country larger than all of Europe, where logistics and physical flows are smaller, where people speak different languages in different parts of the country? Typically, for success, you want multiple distributors over time. And unlike China, the government doesn't play such a big role on the corporate side. Okay? So you can actually have your own subsidiary. You can be your own distributor. That's what J&J and Medtronic and GE and most of the companies have done. They have their own sales force. It's not necessary that you must use a distributor or a third party in India. And often you will hear that Indians are very price sensitive. Okay? People who've done some initial work in India will come back with that kind of belief. And after 15 years of working with helping Western companies to deal with India, I have a little nuance on it. Indians are very much value sensitive. So if the product in the United States has a lot of bells and whistles to appeal to American orthopedic surgeons or American cardiologists, and is designed so that CMS will approve it for reimbursement and all of the things that we care about here, some of those don't translate at all into India. In India, often the patient's family is given a fixed price. To perform this kind of procedure, it'll be so many thousand rupees. It doesn't matter, what it involves, right? So the idea of incremental billing and all of the things that are built in as incentives into our system don't translate there at all. And if you have features in your product or your device that don't apply to the Indian population, okay, they may not want to pay a premium for that. That's sensible. That's not them being cheap. That's them saying, design a product for my needs. Okay, and many companies are now doing that.